Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm working on the next project for down here on the layout, and that is this track back here going down to staging. The plan that I had was I was just going to ramp down and go into staging from just using a ramp. However, after I bought the wood to start on the staging, I realized that I hadn't thought about how am I going to get my hand in to fix derailments, take trains on and off of the tracks if I need to, and realized that the few inches that I thought I would need to go down actually needed to be 11 inches going down. And I just didn't have the space to go from what was here and then just a little bit off to the left. And it was probably going to be, at a minimum, a 6% grade, if not upwards to a 10% grade, which is just unfeasible in nscale. And came to the realization that I was going to need to go out, buy some more plywood, and start designing and then building a Helix. I didn't really want to do it, but this was the only way in the space that I had to drop down the 11 inches that I needed. As you can see, I've already got the base cut out from the 4x8. This is 37 inches wide and then 75 inches long. And then I have a manhole cut out that's plenty of space for me to get in there. I can even, get a chair in there if I have to and be able to work on it, and rotate around. I do have the 1x3s cut. Here's a couple of them that you can see in frame for the base of the table. And then I did cut out notches over here as I plan to use the two legs that are existing for bracing over on the left side of this platform. I did, as I was looking, decide that I was going to do an oval. That would allow me to do a single loop and kind of be something like a Tehachapi in a way, and not have to really go out and get threaded rod and use washers and nuts. So in this instance, I'm just going to do blocks and cut it out and just do kind of, measure as I'm going and put the blocks that way. I did decide to do an oval. That will allow me to drop and use about a 3.75% grade. I am planning to do some of it as a 4%, as I've got some of the Woodland Scenics 4% risers. It's just going to be the section coming out of staging. And so I'm hoping that that might even allow me to drop the rest of it down to a 3.5% grade. I'm not too worried either way, as I'm going to be using multiple powered units. And so that'll work out that way. The other thing that I thought of and I'm planning to do is this is the piece that's going to be towards the layout aisleway. I'm going to do some scenic work there, have a couple of, do tunnels on it and just kind of do scenery. That way, one, it gives me a little bit more to do with scenery, but two, allows the train to be seen as it's at its halfway point, I guess. And so that's the plan for that. All right, I've got some more work done on the Helix, at least some of what it's going to be anyway. I do have the table built for it. It's pretty sturdy, and I will be tying it into, you can see the leg there, about middle of frame. That will be tied together with that. I did get the pieces cut out for what the grade will be, or at least the sections going down. I just went with 3 pieces. I may end up trimming at least this one, this upper one, down a little bit. But I did tape the track plan onto the pieces just to make sure that it'll work. I have plenty of leeway everywhere that I can make stuff work if it doesn't exactly line up. I do need to do a little bit more cutting up here where it does go down into it, as this is the piece that will go down. Let me get down underneath the bench work and I'll show you what I've been doing under there. All right, we're under the layout now, and I apologize for the echo that I'm sure is being picked up. But here is where's the shadow at? There's the shadow, but we'll just use the finger. Here is where the ramp is that's going to be coming down, leading into the Helix. I did need to cut this brace out and actually cut out all 3. Figured that was just going to be easier for the time being. And I ended up adding this cross brace where once I cut this hole here, the sheet lost some of its stability and it was kind of sagging, and I just added that to help support the plywood up top. That's what I meant when I said sheet. But I will go through, make this a little wider. I have a little bit of room, as you can maybe see if we can get it up there. So about that much room that I can cut. So maybe about 1/2 inch to kind of add a little bit more space on the one side. And then I've got about I can come over all the way with it over to this board if I need to. But just to clean this hole up a little bit and make sure that cars and stuff don't ride along or rub up along the side of the plywood. What I'm thinking for these braces, because I think at this point it's only going to be down 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch or something like that, I'll end up taking some 1x3 and I'll come on this side and then screw it in to make this be level, or I may come up from the bottom just to add a little bit of support back to that. We'll see. It'll kind of depend on a little bit of planning that I'm going to be doing. Then I needed to undo these feeders that go up to the mine branch, as they were coming straight across from here and just were getting in the way of where the ramp will be. And then I'll do the same of coming on this side with that piece. Once I get the ramp in, I am going to probably end up having to cut a little bit more of the plywood decking up. I've already planned for that. I stopped here because this cross brace was still there when I was cutting that, but I do think I've got another, I think out to about here. So that'll work out. And then another feeder. Another thing that I'm going to have to do that will be a tomorrow project because it's getting late is I've already gone up, undone the track, and replugged this in. If I can get some light on it, which is the cable going up to the Kato switch that's right up there. And I'm just going to hot glue the sucker in. Then I won't have to worry about it anymore. I think I do need to cut out a a little bit more, or 2 more braces, and I'm a little worried about it. The first one, you can see I've already marked it out. I will remeasure this again. This is just kind of a rough measure out, but this beam here runs the entire length of the layout, and I'm open to suggestions for this, at least for a day or two when this video comes out, because I want to try and get, I've only got a couple of weeks to get this in and running, but the plan is doing some measurements. The deck for the ramp going down should be level with the bottom of the beam here. And same as what I said earlier, I'm thinking of just taking a beam, going across, and then coming up with some screws to secure it that way. That's the plan and hope, because I don't think I'll be able to get a beam across the top. And then, of course, over here, it's probably only going to be, it'll be a curve, you know, cut out, maybe 1/2 inch or 1 inch in, something like that, since the clearance will be that low for, or the decking will be low enough that car clearance will only need that. But anyway, that is the latest on the Helix build. I'm going to go get this video edited, and then, you know, just kind of do some more math and, you know, planning before fully getting the first piece in for the measurements. Probably going to be putting the track on first, and for the most part, and then that way it's on there, it's already, or get some, the feeders soldered onto it as well, but we'll see how it goes. So anyway, that's the latest, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see everybody in the next video.